It's another espresso mail call. Live, baby, live. Show your non-espresso espresso. Yeah, DC Watch. I like that one.
Only 20
Welcome,
exist.
welcome to everybody to Espresso Mail Call. Excuse me. God, it's so good. Who doesn't like espresso? ES,
Dave.
not EX. Remember that. So we've got here three other amigos that are going to help by showing some of the stuff that they have in their own espresso mail call. So we've got here to my left, we have Chuck Henze. Chuck, late of the Reggie Collects program. Chuck was on Reggie's early, so if you missed it, make sure you catch Chuck. Very good. How you doing tonight, Chuck?
Doing great. Good to see everyone.
Good to see everybody. And now, down in that corner, we have the, I always forget how does Matt say you're the better looking or the less better looking? Bratton butter? Whatever. The Bratton butter brother, Dave. And Dave was on Reggie Collects too and was actually talking a lot. So you want to see Reggie's show and see Dave. Dave was actually very good and gave a lot of good information on that show. And
Thanks,
finally, below me, but not really, is the one, the only Mark Andrews. Mark,
hey,
sir,
Joe, thanks
how
for
are
having
you?
me. I didn't get a chance to go on Reggie, nor did you, which
No.
is their loss. So,
that's just the way it goes, but
I
we
know.
would have probably added quite a bit to the whole
I
conversation.
think quality would have been there. Yep.
Quality over quantity, Dave. Don't forget that,
I think we know the real story.
No, but really do watch it. If you've missed it, go back and watch the rewind because the two guys were great. They were really great on the show.
Yeah, they were.
All right, Mark, we have to admit it when it's true.
Well, Chuck was awesome. There was a lot of Shazam talk on the other guy. Anyway, moving right along.
Okay. Well, let's see who's here today to join us in the chat. All right. What do we have? We have X11 Bravo, my friend. How are you? Make sure you take a look at them. They're doing a fundraising for a very good cause. So take a look at his Instagram and help out if you can. All right. Let's see.
Thanks, Tina.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, sure. Tina's on your
side.
side.
Tina, the OG. How you doing, Tina? Thank you for showing up tonight. We appreciate you, my friend. Hey, Chuck. We already said hello to you, Chuck. All right. That's okay. Oh, no. The one, the only, Mr. Matt Woods is there. Thank you, Mr. Matt Woods. Let's see who else we got here that we have not. And there he is, the other Bratton brother. The other Bat. It's very hard to. It's like a tongue twister. The Bratton brothers.
The Bratton brothers.
Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. You're going to talk about the thing in Connecticut later on.
Oh, thanks.
I would like to go, but I'm not sure I want to spend the $5 to get in. But they're going to be in Connecticut tomorrow. I'll ask Dave to mention something about it later on. Let's see. Have we gotten anybody else that's in here? Are we missing anybody? Oh! Here is Trev, the shipping guru. Trev, how are you?
Trev.
Thanks for showing up. We have Phil Tastic, another New Jersey fellow. How you doing, Phil? Let's see. We got Doug already. We don't want to miss any of the newcomers here.
Got Dope Comics.
Dope Comics.
There he is. Dope Comics. How you doing, my friend? New to the channel. That's right. And he's a new subscriber too. We have a lot of fun here.
Yay!
We have a lot more fun before we go live. I'll be honest with you. So we have to be kind of tone it down a little bit when we go live. But maybe one day you'll be behind the curtains and it'll work out really well. Let's see. Anybody else here? We have Shop. I love your Shopaverse. But I saw you come out with some new ones. I made that poster for you, and now it looks like you need a new poster because you have more. What do you have? 115 members of the Shopaverse here. What a great artist and what a great series of pictures that he's gotten there. Very good, very well done. All right, let's see. Excellent. I think we've gotten everybody. Okay, great. So this is an Espresso mail call. So it's Espresso. Remember Espresso. And I'm going to run this at the bottom. I'm going to give away some comic books. And let me run the ticker here. I'm going to give away some comic books. And they are these 5 Justice League of America comic books from I think the Bronze Age. I think maybe one from the Silver Age that's here. All right, so there's 5 of them here. But give away. So when you get the chance in the comments area, put down hashtag Espresso. Now I'm using that word because even one of my relatives said, "Oh, let's have some espresso." I go, "What the hell are you talking about? It's espresso with an
It's
S."
kind of blasphemy, isn't it?
It is. I was like, I almost gave him the back of my hand. You know, it's like, come on, guys, what's going
Federal
on?
Espresso.
So it's espresso, hashtag espresso, and about halfway through, we will pick some names, and we'll do it that way. So I'm going to start it off. Back about a week ago Saturday, on Gary B's wonderful channel, he has the Savage Saturday reviews. And last Saturday was the 6th and final one that he had with Madame Blaster. And they were going over a different artwork. And the artwork they had was for Earl Norm. All right. I just fell in love with the guy's thing. And so we looked at some of his covers, you know, and from the artwork, and we critiqued it and that type of thing. I fell in love with his cover. So I said, I'm going to go out and get it. So this is one of the covers. Let me make myself big. Make myself big. You know why? Because I'm
You
big.
can.
Mm-hmm.
You can.
Let's see. Where's the big? Oh, here we go.
It's
So here
Joe's
it is.
show.
Now, isn't that
Nice.
a beauty? Look at that. Look at that. We critiqued this. I love that woman. She looks like really afraid. You know, she's holding on to Conan for dear life. This is Savage Sword of Conan number 70. No, what is it? 38? Yes, number 38, and that's from. Oh God, I forgot what year it was. 76 was it? I can't remember now. But Savage Sword of Conan 76. All right, Earl Norm cover. And take a look at this. The guy has great covers. And this was his first Marvel cover. Marvel Previews presents Man God.
Yeah.
You know.
That's an awesome book.
And it was awesome cover too.
Who did that cover?
Excuse me?
I'm sorry. Who's the artist on the cover?
Earl Norm. I think it's Norem, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Really cool. Really
Hey,
cool.
Yeah.
Watch that show. Watch that Gary B show. They went over like a number of his, the artwork, the prints of the covers, without the trade dress and all that. And we went over it. We also were we're kind of giving a tribute to Red Sonja as well, which you can tell when you take a look at that show. But anyway,
Yes.
But the artwork is just fantastic. I think that even Gary thought he was probably one of the best, if not the best Conan artist. But if you take a look at, it's just fantastic artwork.
It's like looking in a mirror.
No, you're looking at me, Dave.
That artwork's phenomenal.
I know. It was really, really good. Now, the other thing is, back, I don't know, maybe about a month or so ago, I did a video on the Merry Marvel Marching Society. Take a look at that. It's really great because I held on to my kit because I was a member of the Merry Marvel Marching Society. And I mentioned that I found out that my name was in one of the Marvel comic books because they were printing them out. And I found a guy that was actually had looked through all of the comic books from 1966 through 1968 and made a list of over 11,000 names and where the names were. So I looked through all my books from 1960s, didn't see my name. He told me that he found my name when I asked him, and it was in Two Gun Kid number 79. So I was down in Florida, and I mentioned when I was going to come back to New York, I was going to go and buy a copy of it. But somebody decided to send me an AOK of it. Mark, thank you so much, my friend. I took it out of the plastic so you can see it. There it is. Two Gun Kid number 79 from 1966, January 1966, but it actually came out in 65. And let me show you here the coolest thing. I could find it without ripping the page here. On the Marvel Bullpen page, looking down at the bottom.
Very last name.
Yeah, let me see if I can get that. So it's
where it belongs.
I don't know if you can see it. It's not that clear. But right at the bottom, near my left ear is my name.
Okay.
And it says,
That's awesome.
let's meet 25 more MMS members. And it says Joseph Travato, New York, because that's where I lived. Mark, thank you so much, my friend. And
You're
this is
more
really
than
good
welcome.
shape. Very,
Yeah,
very good.
It looks really nice.
That's
Yeah, it's
cool.
really what
Well,
a
it
great
need-
thing to do, and I really appreciate it, my friend.
It needed to be. It's your book, Joe. It needed to be with you.
I know to be part of Marvel history and having
that
it
was-
right there. Of course, I would have preferred being in Spider-Man or Fantastic Four or something, but I have to settle for Two Gun Kid. And that's
You
it.
should have applied sooner. That's
Yeah,
Beggars
well,
and choosers.
but back then, Two Gun Kid was huge, and
Well, all
was-
the westerns were really huge.
yeah,
in that
he was
respect.
popular. So they probably thought they were doing you a huge favor.
Doug says this. You're scaring me the way you're holding the comic. I don't know.
It's
Anyway,
his comic to hold, Doug. However
That's
he
right.
wants to.
That's right. I needed to espresso that.
There are a lot of espresso
All right,
puns
now
in
we
the
have
chat.
espresso jokes here.
Yeah.
All right, Chuck, why don't you go up next and show us some of the stuff that you've gotten?
All right. So my daughter is a huge Doctor Who fan. And so
Ooh.
she is really,
too.
really excited about, excuse me. Goodbye. Speak of the devil. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Hey.
Goodbye. See? Right on
Aw,
cue. There we
man.
go.
Right on cue.
That was perfect.
You gotta love it, man. And so she's been excited about the 60th anniversary show coming up. And in it, the most recent trailer has shown this little fluff ball called Beep the Meep, which apparently is one of the only Doctor Who characters to go from comics to the actual canon show. And so the first appearance of Beep is in this right here, which is Doctor Who Weekly,
Cool.
number 19, I believe.
Is that from Britain?
Yes, it's from Britain, so it's one of the
Yeah.
British comics. So it's got that very thin paper. It's black and white. It's got a great cover here, which has absolutely nothing to do with the comic. So, Beep the Meep is this little fuzzball that looks all nice and innocent. It's kind of Gizmo's British cousin, but it got exposed to cosmic radiation or whatever, and is not. The neat thing in here is that the art is done by Dave Gibbons.
Okay.
Who had some success with some other work later on. So
Cool.
the other thing I want to show real quickly is I've been trying to get as many Dave Stevens covers as I can because I love Dave Stevens.
Absolutely.
And so I picked up a run of Crossfire for no other reason than to get this cover
I
Oh,
love
that's
that
a nice
cover.
cover.
Wow.
Very
with the
nice.
nice Marilyn Monroe.
Yep.
I know. I'm a big Maryland fan.
Well, this is an awesome book, and and I had to I went and read all of them, and this cover is the best thing in the series.
Nice.
And then he did another Crossfire cover, but for
Chuck, what number is that? What number was that?
Number 12.
Okay.
And then here we have Crossfire and Rainbow miniseries, but he did this Elvis homage there.
Nice.
Just like here real quick.
Oh, that's
Those are good.
cool.
So a really, really nice Elvis homage here. So, I'm working on my collection of Dave Stevens covers, slowly but surely. Everything I can afford.
Are they expensive?
Man. So yeah, Doug is exactly right. They're not overly expensive for the most part, but some of the more obscure ones, because you did a lot of stuff for Eclipse and Pacific, and those are just really hard to find now in any sort of decent shape. And you're getting to the point where these used to be, books you could scour out of the long boxes at the back of the store. And instead they're now $30, $40, $50 books, or some of the bigger ones like his Planet Comics and the Airboy homage he did are much, much more expensive. And they're harder to find in like high shape. So like I've got he's got a Sheena 3D that he did that I've got on sort of permanent search on eBay for a decent price with the glasses. So,
Okay.
Good to know.
Yeah.
All right. You have any more you want to show right now, or are we going to pass on?
Sure, real quick. I got some Marvel horror here with a nice Chamber of Darkness.
Oh, hooray!
Nice. Look at that. The
Which
red.
issue?
The Chamber
Number
of Darkness.
Number 2. Nice.
Yeah. So my store owner had a sale for free comic book day, and so I grabbed this off the wall at a nice discount because it's a nice high grade horror. So
Very nice. Very nice.
And I love this design on the Red Death right here. Absolutely great. So
yeah,
That's
very cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
Very cool.
All right.
You got to say pass, Chuck. So I know.
All right. Pass.
All right, Dave.
All right.
You're up.
Shazam
Alrighty.
1, Shazam 2.
Them too.
Oh, Mark. You don't know what's coming, buddy. Actually, Mark always gives me grief. And one of the things I am going to cover is something because of something Mark said. So that's coming later. But this one, I like both companies. This is
Oh,
a
look
trade
at that.
paperback from the early 90s. It's the compilation of the first 4 DC Marvel crossovers. Superman and Spider-Man, Superman and Spider-Man, the second one, Batman and Hulk, and then Teen Titans and X-Men. And this has them all, and you know, it's just really a blast going back to the mid 70s and reading DC and Marvel teaming up together. And I actually own 3 of the 4 books in here, but I don't own the Batman Hulk, which is drawn by the incredible Jose Luis Garcia Lopez.
Nice.
So when I saw this on eBay at a good price, I was like, oh man, I need to grab this. And the stories are fun in that this is like pre where everybody was into the multiverse. You know what I mean? So it was Superman and Spider-Man like, oh yeah, I know who Spider-Man is. I know who Superman is. We just never crossed paths. And now we finally are. You know, they just treated it like they're all in the same world, which is was kind of cool to see from back then. Something else I ordered on eBay. I broke down. I don't know if I should have because it's not cheap, but I got what I thought was a pretty solid price compared to what I've seen. Is you know, I love film. I love these characters in comics, but I love them in film. Film, you know, Chuck and I were talking about this. It's a medium that we really appreciate. And I just thought this was cool. You know, I know Henry's time is over for now. As
accept it, Dave. Just say it.
I'm good. But I wanted to get this comic, Mark.
You didn't
trying
cry.
to make me. Mark's just like,
He might come back.
What can I do to make Dave feel bad? So and you know what? I just thought it was really cool. I like the photo covers. I try and pick them up when I can. So I was excited to get that one. And then another one before I pass it on, because I do have a couple others that I'll hold on.
Doug is giving it up on you.
Oh, okay. All right. So I think I know which one Doug's talking about. So I'll go to that one. I'll go to that one next and hold off on some of the others. But Doug turned me onto this, honestly. This is History of the DC Universe. The hardcover compilation from, I want to say, the late 80s, early 90s. Now I need to open it up real quick. It's got a gorgeous Bill Sienkiewicz cover. Obviously the interiors are done by the legendary George Perez. But Doug turned me on to this, and the price was really good.
Nice.
I bid and got it for probably a little bit more than it cost when it came out 30 years ago. But one of the things that makes this book is not just, you know, the gorgeous George Perez art, but this book has, and this definitely appeals to Doug. This was a limited edition signed.
Oh wow!
By Mark
Nice.
Wolfman and George Perez.
Nice.
So
Nice.
to see this in this shape from that long ago with their signatures, for that price, it was a no-brainer for me.
That's super. That's
really nice.
I have the original. That's a 2-volume work, right?
It is.
Right,
I bought the originals when they came out. It came out right after
Mhm.
Crisis on Infinite Earths in order to try and like sort of make sense of the new history after that Maxi
But
series came out.
those signatures really make. That's
They do.
fantastic.
That's lovely.
It's gorgeous. I'm very fortunate, and like kudos to Doug for saying, "Hey, Dave, I saw this on eBay. What do you think?" I'm like, you know what? For the right price, I think I want it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was very excited to get it. I've got a couple others, but I'll pass it off, and we'll do the round. I'll see you on the next turnaround.
Oh, hey, I'm
That's
big.
Mark Andrews.
Oh, hi, Joe. So, this first one is I didn't get it. I kind of got a call from my LCS saying you really want to come over here. So I will call that a call, but kind of it was a male who phoned me, so it was a male call. Anyway, so this couple came into our local LCS here in North Bay in their late 70s. They are moving from their house to an apartment, so they're downsizing, and they have been married for many, many decades now, and they met in a corner store at the comic book rack and started collecting comic books together, fell in love, and got married.
Wow.
And now they're downsizing and picking books that they're going to sell. So I went over because, I mean, what kind of a cool story is that? And this really isn't in my wheelhouse, but I couldn't resist. So I got
Yes.
this
Cool.
from them.
That looks like Mary Jane Watson there on the.
Well, you know what's really interesting, Joe? This is 1969 by John Romita.
That's
Now,
why.
if you don't think that's Mary Jane Watson and Peter Parker,
I know.
Yeah.
And this series, the first 5 books, John Romita did all the covers.
Wow.
So, like Stan Lee did it with Susan Lane Loeb. Were 59 books in the series, but it was such a cool story. They're in incredibly nice shape. I couldn't resist, and it's a cool book. So
I like that.
Was the Sternenko cover a Sternenko issue in there also?
That's later on, isn't it?
Number 6, I think.
Yeah, no, they didn't. Like they had 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 5, and then some in the teens and stuff. Because it was
the Woodstock cover.
Did
you get the Woodstock one?
No.
Okay.
I didn't. I'd love to have gotten the Woodstock cover.
Yeah.
But again, that's not my wheelhouse, Chuck. Like I don't buy a whole lot of love books. Anyway, so
come on, Mark. You showed me offline. You have about 300 of those things.
Well, you said we were going to talk. Anyway, moving right along. So this is I was working on this run to get decent copies of this particular run. This is number 5 of 5 issues. I just got it. I'm pretty happy. It's 1969. It's gold key. It's issue number 5 from Land of the Giants.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a cool TV show. Love the covers, love the stories, love the TV show. Fun fact is the theme to this TV show is by John Williams.
Yeah.
So it's Lost in Space.
Lost in Space, Gilligan's Island.
Johnny Williams.
That's where he started out doing TV and stuff. So again, I just loved it. Like that was such a cool show. So this is issue 5 of 5. So I'm really quite content. And I'll do one more, Joe, and then I'll hand it back to you.
Okay.
Now, I may have been accused of being a single title kind of or publisher kind of guy by some people. Right there. Anyway, so this one is from that same couple that I talked to, and I just had to get it because it's such a cool cover, and was a cool series. There was only 4 issues, and then they changed the title to something else. But yeah,
The Dark Mansion of Forbidden Love.
The Kiss of Death. And what's really cool is the lady who met her husband at the spinner rack signed it right there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
So she bought this off the rack, in 1971.
Wow.
Kept it, and I wanted to make sure I gave it a good home, even though it's got that that. But it's a good book, and the
Oh, that's
artwork is great. The art's by Jack Adler, and it's a really cool series, and it's a great story. And again, just tied into that story, which I thought was really cool.
That is really cool. That's nice when you have a
Take care,
story
Phil.
behind it like that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Who'd we just lose?
Phil.
Phil.
Oh, Phil. had to leave.
See you, Phil.
So, okay. So I have maybe about another 6 or 7 books, but I'm going to show, I'm going to hold on to a couple till the end. But these are some that I just, this is like I was telling the guys before that, I'm not buying a lot of books now. There's just some stuff going on now. But if I go on like either eBay or one of the other hip comics or whatever like that, and there's a book that I think I get for $1 or $2, I'll do it. Because they'll bundle the mailing and stuff like that, so you can get a few things like that. So I was looking back for the 1960s, and I don't even know what years these are from. They are from the 60s, though. Earlier on, I showed a few Dr. Solar Man of the Atoms in one of the prior things I had. So this was not the best cover, but I just
Sweet.
I can get it for like $2.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
absolutely.
I like whatever this is. I don't know what it is. But it's like cat's eyes, right? So take a look at that. It's like cat's eyes. Solar Smash.
That is
monsters that come
creepy.
to life. So it just is kind of a cool cover.
Yeah.
Dr. Solar is not as big in the cover as he sometimes might be, but it's number 20 from sometime in the 1960s. I don't know. I didn't look to see when it was from. These other two, I'm sorry, but when I grew up and picked out these comics in the early to mid 60s, especially, you had like Lois Lane. Every Lois Lane thing was about Lois Lane either marrying Superman in an imaginary story, or seeing Lana Lang winning Superman away from her, or something happening to her. And it was kind of, Mark, I have to say, they were kind of almost like a romance stories of the time, except with Superman, who always looked like silly in those books.
They did. Like,
but that's what it's about. So here's one, number 90. So it's Super always said stupid things. Look at this one. So here I'm sorry. So look at what Superman has to say here. What a fool I am not to have married Lois. Now I've lost her forever. That was just typical. I'm sorry. Yeah. Now, at the time when I look at it, I used to say, "Oh wow, this is like interesting," But now I look at it and I just start cracking up laughing because I just think it's the sign of the times, and that's what they gave. So it almost has like an historical significance here. And at the bottom it says, "Here in suspended animation sleep Darnell of Krypton and his bride Lois of Earth, who will awaken in the year 2169 to begin a new and happy life together." Soups, you messed up. So
on the other hand, he's only got about another 40-some years to wait, and then they're going to be ready to go.
Well, back in 1964
exactly.
or 65 was a lot longer, whatever it was. And the other one is Superboy, which was Clark Kent's Superman when he was a boy, not the same Superboy that you see now. So, any event, these are somewhat silly also sometimes. So this cover, I just saw this cover and I said it was like $1. It was 99 cents. So I put $2 down and I got it for 99 cents. So,
there you go. That works.
So here it is.
Oh, man.
Superboy falling down. It's a down, and away for Superboy in the big fall. Look at that. Huh?
Is that a Neil Adams cover?
It looks a little bit like it, but I don't know that it
tell.
is. And they didn't. Let me see if I could see something inside. But they usually didn't say anything in those days as to who was doing stuff. So let me just take.
He did do some Superboy.
Yeah,
He did do some Superboy. And this was actually in pretty nice shape too, which kind of surprised. Not that it's a key or anything.
Wow.
It's
be careful with it.
It's from 1967.
Okay.
Be careful with it, Joe, because Doug is having conniptions again.
Doug's like, not a spine tick.
No.
And the last one. What's this? The cover is so creepy. All right. Yeah, me too. And the last one I got, I think I have one of these elsewhere. I I have to look through my collection, but I got to find out a little bit more about these books too. This is volume 1, the definitive directory of the DC universe. Who's who?
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys seen these before?
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a couple, but I don't know much about the history of these and how many there are or whatever. But this starts with letter A. It's volume 1. Abel, Abanazgar, Wrath and Gost, Abracadabra, Adam Strange, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know how many goes in there, but I got a couple of others. I got to look for them. So I'm not sure. I don't know if they went A through Z, I guess.
They did.
Yeah, it was sort of their companion to the official Marvel handbook.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll hold off on the other ones until my turn comes back around here. But those are, I mean, they cost me maybe about $5 for those books.
Nice. Can't beat it.
That's posted.
Can't beat that.
I couldn't
Yeah.
resist. I just said, okay, 99 cents. So usually when I see that, I just put down $2. If it's one that I think I might really want, I'll put down $3 and see if I win the thing. So, all right, who's up? Chuck, you're up.
Joe,
Yeah.
did you want to do your giveaway at 9:30?
Yeah, let's do the giveaway right now.
Yeah, the giveaway. Thank you. So thank you, Dave. That's why you're here. That's why you're here, Dave. So, if you have not put down hashtag Espresso yet and you're here, we've had anywhere between 9, 10, 11 people in this thing. Please do so. I'm going to bring up the StreamYard tool, and let's start collecting the comments here.
Doug, if you win, we're splitting.
Only got 3 entries? No, there's got to be more than that.
I'm getting in on this action.
Hold on a minute. There's something weird with this. Oh, wait a minute. Okay.
ESPRESSO.
Some of us have to triple check our spelling here.
There's
So
something weird going on here. I think I saw more than just 2 or 3 entries here. Hashtag Espresso. All right, hold on a second.
All right. Doug entered.
Doug entered.
Turbo Man Todd, if I win, I will happily split it with you. I have not entered, so your odds are getting the split are low.
Oh, Trev's entered.
there we go.
Tina, have you entered?
Yeah, she just
Tina entered. Guys, I think there's something wrong with this. Hold on a second. Let me try it again. I haven't brought it up because it's only showing 3 entries.
Good evening, Jay. Welcome.
Do you want us to continue on, Joe, while you play with the device, or?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Why don't you do that? Because I'm not sure what the story is. So, Chuck, why don't you go ahead and show your books, and I'll see if I can get this to work right.
All right. So, one of my friends who does a lot of online sales was selling a bunch of magazines, and y'all know I'm a sucker for good magazines. So I made sure to bring something to make the Matt Woods of the world happy. I have my very first Savage Sword of Conan. And it's a nice high-grade annual here.
Very nice.
Very cool.
Really like it. Beautiful. I love the monster here. I don't know what it is.
It is creepy.
But yeah, he's appreciably creepy. So
yeah.
So that's really awesome. So the story's not half bad either. So it's also got a King Cole story in it. So
No. Okay.
you know, two for the one, so to speak. I picked up another early Love and Rockets.
Oh. That's cool.
You know.
Yep. Those can get real pricey.
Yeah,
like
they can.
One. Yep.
Well, yeah. Well, you know, and there was nobody on the feed was bidding on this because I guess they didn't know what it was.
Oh, nice.
So
that's
you know. So it was really nice. And I just love the art. I mean, just love them. They're just fantastic. A really strange thing. This was Marvel's attempt at being edgy in the 70s. I don't know if anyone's ever seen this before.
Okay.
It's a 5-issue series called the Comics Books. And he's had 3 of them for sale. So, and apparently someone did a collection of them at some point. Because I've actually seen it at my store, but this was their attempt to be hard and edgy and in the early 70s. So there's a lot of ripoff of kind of like Mad Magazine and some of the underground books and whatnot. And you can see why That'd be awesome, Tina. You can see why you can
I'm
see
not
why
saying no to that.
Yeah.
this did not survive. So, and the other thing I want to show were my first heavy metal books, which actually don't need to be censored, I don't think. So at least this one doesn't. So
Is that your first heavy metal book?
my very first one, yes.
Really?
I've just never ever gotten into heavy metal for whatever reason. And with the Frank Frazetta interview,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
I'm actually going to open it up and read it. So
Yeah, it's a good interview. Actually, that was it. That's a good one. I would pick that up when I was in high school.
Nice. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I used to buy them in the old days.
Yep. I would
Yeah.
bring those into high school to read them and make my teacher lose their mind in English class.
that's good. The English teachers need to be kept honest, I find.
What are you doing now, Mark?
Retired. I'm teaching.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
The irony.
Payback is what it is. Anyway.
Yeah.
Dave, the teachers were always the worst students. I tell my class clowns that
Yeah.
all the time. Is that that we were the class clowns. They don't bother me too much.
Yeah.
And the last magazine I'm going to show here is an Unknown Worlds of Science Fiction.
Oh, nice.
Mm.
And this is the one with the trifolds in it. Let me get my hand
Yep.
away properly. So I'm just no Turbo Man. I did not just buy it for the interview. There were other reasons I bought it too. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. But don't get me in trouble now. But I love my science fiction here. So this is great to have. So, and yeah.
That's the one they're optioning too, Chuck.
Yes, exactly. So,
yeah.
So
cool.
I had a blast.
Well,
I love my magazines.
Nice.
So.
Let me just, those are really good. Let me just tell you, there's something, I'll show you what's going on here so you can see. But there's something going on here. It's just not working properly. If you're not sure why. Okay.
X11 Bravo.
Nope, that's not it. Hold on a second. I'll remove it. Pick the wrong one. Sorry.
Oh, well.
Dave got big.
Swole.
Yeah.
We need our musical interlude here.
Way too.
Hey, Dave, break into that singing you were doing.
Yeah, right. So you see, it says entries 4.
Well, there's got to be more than 4.
Well, you got to like your odds,
There's many more
guys.
than
You got a
4.
25% chance.
Yeah, but
there's
so
a few more
there's
than
something
4.
wrong with this thing. Not sure what it is. It's just not working right. I'll go back. Espresso milk hole.
You may have to do it the old way and print them off and stick them in a hat, Joe. We trust you.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let me get rid of this. So Dave, you're up next, right?
All right, cool.
So why don't you go ahead and show, and people
will.
are going to have to comment on it.
That's cool.
I don't think it makes any difference whether it's small letters or big letters or anything like that, because people have put it I don't think it makes that much of a, I don't think it makes any difference. But if you want, I did put capital letters in the crawl. So if you want to try that, I'll change it to capital letters on the giveaway tool. If everybody wants to put the capital letters down, that's fine. But I have it with small letters and said collect it. All right. So maybe it's my fault. So why don't we do this? I'm sorry, guys. Why don't we keep it all small letters, lowercase, all the way through? So if you put something down, please put it down as long as you've done it in small letters. And let's see whether or not we get like 8, 9, or 10 people in here, because I think that's how many as we have in here. If not, I'll find another way of doing it. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. And meanwhile, Dave, let's let you go through while I try to collect them in that way. All right.
All right.
Okay.
So this comic, the call is a call I made to the comic book store, a local comic book store, because it was the only way I was going to get it. It is a 1 in 100 variant of the new Shazam #1.
See, I knew.
Nice.
And I mean, it's hard to see on this, but the colors, it's gorgeous in person. There's a new series by Mark Waid. And Mark Waid's a terrific writer, so I'm excited for it. But part of the reason I wanted to show this was kind of in response when we were on our modern classics, and I was about to show a comic. Mark was watching, and I said, "This is my favorite character," and I went to hold it up, and Mark typed Shazam. And the truth is, Superman's probably my favorite character. Superman, Batman, Spider-Man were always my three favorite characters growing up. And frankly, they're kind of a lot of people's big three because they were such a part of our popular culture because of media. Not just the comics, but the movies, the shows, and all of that. But I was a little kid growing up in the 70s, and there was a Shazam TV show, and it was a low budget live action. You know, when you're 4 and 5, whatever years old, you know, the fact that it was low budget, whatever, it didn't matter. You saw the superhero on screen doing superheroic things, and that was extremely cool. So I've always had an affinity for the character because of that. But it goes a little deeper than that. One, I think if the character's done right, the potential for me is this character is Peter Parker says a magic word and becomes Superman. He is both Spider-Man, an A-list character for Marvel, and Superman, an A-list character for DC combined. And I think the potential for stories and storytelling there is just incredible. But here's the thing. In my lifetime, now Captain Marvel, Shazam, was huge in the 40s. And then the lawsuit, and he went away. And I think a lot of you know that. If you don't, Google it. It's an interesting story. But in my lifetime, this character has not had a comic book series go longer than, I think, 49 issues.
That's right.
So Superman, Action Comics had issue 1000 recently. Batman, Detective Comics had 1,000. There are an insane amount of comics about all those characters, but there aren't about Captain Marvel, Shazam. So there's a part of me that has sort of that underdog rooting. I think this is a great character that just never gets his due. So that's kind of why, if it feels like I'm super into it and, you know, like trying to lift the character up by myself, maybe I am.
You're not all by yourself, Dave.
So,
come on.
No, I'm not the only fan in the world, but you know, I really, of course, no. And I love the first film, and I really like the second film. Honestly, it bombed, and that stunk. But you know, Joe and I were talking about this, and we were both like, you know what? If it bombed, at least it didn't bomb because it was a bad film. Like it wasn't. It was a pretty good. It was a good movie. It was a fun superhero movie. So that's part of where my like love for this character, not just because I liked it as a child, not just because I see incredible possibility for the character, just because the character doesn't also partially because I don't think the character, you know, Captain Marvel or Shazam, you know, is appreciated, you know, maybe the way I appreciate them. You know, you have a band you like that's your favorite band and everybody likes that band, but you have another one you really like and almost nobody's into it. And you're like, but no, this other band's great too. You know, that's sort of how I feel, you know, about this character. And I hope everyone is, you know, if you are still buying comics from your LCS, give it a shot. Mark Waid's a terrific writer. And look, I like Captain America. I like Daredevil. They're not my favorites. When Mark Waid wrote those characters, I bought those trade paperbacks and I bought his run and it was well worth it. So I'm hoping, even if you're not a fan of Captain Marvel or Shazam, with Mark Waid writing it, I think you're in for something that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm going to pick one up tomorrow. I think I'm going to be down in Manhattan.
Cool.
And so I'll probably pick one up.
And you know, and they've got trades of that, you know, the series The Power Shazam from the 90s, which was so good.
They do.
You know,
the second one's coming out this month.
Yeah, the order he's writing and his art, just, you know, probably the best version I've seen in the last, you know, 30 to 40 years by far.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
I love Jerry Ordway's take on the character. For my 50th, my wife commissioned a Jerry Ordway drawing of Superman and Shazam standing next to each other, which was really cool. But
very cool.
Yeah, Jerry Ordway, I love his art. His painted covers to me are the highlight of that series. Like the stories I didn't love them. You know, there were elements that I really liked. I thought some were better than others, and some were really good, and some I was like, oh, it was okay. But his painted covers are just astonishing. They're gorgeous.
Cool.
And then I had one more thing. I don't know if I have time because I
Yeah,
spent
go
a little
ahead.
bit. All right. Picked up this Superman Space Age. It is really different. Like I said, you know, Superman's probably my favorite character of all time. This is a really different book, and it actually ties into one of the biggest events in DC history in a really unique and interesting way. And it's actually a darker, heavier story. And in some ways, I was talking to Doug about it. I said, honestly, I'm not so sure that this is not, you know, sort of a meditation on death. Like, it was just a really unique story with
Is
gorgeous
that a new
art.
book?
The series was relatively new in the last year, and then the hardcover just came out. And I grabbed it. And Mike Allred did the artwork, and it's you know, it's terrific, and it's unique. His work is unique. He has a different, you know, style than a lot of other modern comic book artists, but his stuff is great. Good night, Doug. Talk to you tomorrow.
Night, Doug.
Night, Doug.
And so I just thought this was such, you know,
Cool.
Doug and I talk comics, and a lot of mainstream stuff Doug's not super into. So I rarely recommend a lot of the stuff I read. This one I recommended to Doug. I'm like, I think you should check it out. So there we
Okay. All right. Before we get to you, Mark,
Okay.
let me tell you what I've done, and it might need you guys might need to help me with this. First of all, let me take this off, since it's like a little consequence right now. All right. Let me try to do this and see if I can do this the right way now.
Oh, I'm still big on this.
Yeah, I know. You're going to be big for... All right, I will make you big. Hold on a second.
That's all right. I literally looked this up because I'm popping in to see if this works.
All right, so what I'm going to do is this, and because it's just
Oh,
not
sure.
working.
There's
There's
Dave.
something wrong with the giveaway tool. I don't know what it is. So what I did was I went through all of them, and I put the names into this.
Oh, cool.
There we go. That
Yeah.
worked.
There we go.
So I think I got everybody that had put the thing in. So I saw that Gary B was
There are
here.
a couple new people who've done it, and you
Yeah.
can take me out. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I can take myself out.
Yeah. We
I
got
think
Chop.
I've got Chop, I've got Richard. Dave, I could put you in if you want. It's fine.
Hey, I saw what you're giving away. I'm happy to be in there. I won't complain. I took myself out
Jen.
just in case there was a conflict of interest.
The Wheel of Joe.
Yeah, no,
I like
no.
that.
There's no conflict.
Okay.
You guys want to finish?
As long as you don't hit bankrupt and have to send Joe books.
Did
So,
you forget? Did you put Gary B in there, Joe?
Did Gary?
Yep, he just did now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll put him in.
I'm not even in it, Richard. If you look at the names, I'm not there.
Well,
Do you
then
wanna
if
be
you
in
win,
it?
we definitely have some questions
Yes, I know.
about
That's
the
where the magic
integrity of
happens.
this wheel.
The wheel's very,
Okay.
I think it looks pretty, like it's right there for you to see. You can see the names. It's perfect.
It's hypnotic.
I think I
As
got
it is.
everything. The Wheel of Joe, yeah. Wheel of Joe. There it is. All right.
Cool.
Uh,
Click to spin.
what? If Mark Andrews wins, I'm calling it rigged. Okay.
Yeah.
As well, you should. No.
All right. I think we got everybody that put this stuff down. Last call. If you want to put something down, let me know. If not, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 9 people. Let me shuffle it. 2, 3.
You win Cocaine
All right.
Bear.
Okay, here we go. Let's see who wins. Whoever wins, good luck. And the winner
Wow.
is
That's pretty fancy.
HBO
Oh!
Max
Back to
won.
another.
Doug. Doug won.
There you go.
We go. There we go. Now we're gonna talk.
Joe?
Yeah.
It'll get here faster if you send it to me, and I'll give it to him.
Uh-huh.
All right, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
He's got
Yeah.
inspector
What?
for quality control.
I think that's rigged.
Okay, Mark,
Anyway,
you're up. Congratulations, Doug. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Doug left, so he doesn't know that he won.
No,
So this-
he
but that's
doesn't.
okay.
this one,
I just texted him.
this one, it's a little bit of a rough copy, but every time I see this book, if it's reasonable and I can afford it, because I don't have that many, and I'm just trying to get better copies of it, and I'm just a big sucker for them. Buck Rogers, #1,
Oh, nice.
Gold
Very
Key.
cool.
I mean, he's missing a little bit here on the spine, but like 1964. And the second issue of this series didn't show up for 15 years.
Oh wow.
Like the Buck Rogers in the 25th century with Jill Gerard and Aaron Gray, all that stuff.
Yeah.
The comic
my
books and Gold Key is issue 2.
Yeah.
This is issue 1.
Nice.
So they waited 15 years, but that's just a great book. So the next one, I've been looking for this book, a decent copy of it, and I was finally able to acquire it, and it just because it is what it is.
Oh, excellent.
Oh,
Excellent.
interesting.
Nice.
That's issue
I
1.
remember those.
That's
yeah.
issue 1 of Night Nurse. Yep.
Wow.
So like there was only 4 issues of this.
Mhm.
Again, like 1972. They say this is what they based the Night Nurse on, the Daredevil HBO.
Daredevil show. Yeah,
Mhm.
Rosario
Yeah,
Dawson.
Rosario Dawson. It's pretty fun read. Like it's an interest. But anyway, it is what it is. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
That's awesome.
And my last pickup for this week, again, it's a little bit rough, but I can't say no because I'm a
That's
sucker.
okay. Rough is good.
Well, and it's Neil Adams. And how can you say no to Neil Adams? So it's 1972. What's kind of cool about this book is the second story of this book. The character in that second story is Aphrodite from the Marvel Universe. And Key Collector, because Aphrodite is Venus, and Key Collector, they say her first Bronze Age appearance is in Submariner 57, but she's actually the second story in this book.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That is a great
Nice.
book.
That is
Yeah.
a cool
Mhm.
transformation cover.
Yeah, that's a great transformation cover. It's an awesome book. I was really pleased to get it. Yeah, yes, you're right, Richard. No greatest. I couldn't say no when I saw this. And I think it's kind of cool that you got Aphrodite in here where people are saying, oh, no, she didn't show up till Submariner, but she's in this book. Predates that book by a year, like
Wow.
a full year. So
Very
that's
cool.
kind of
Some
fun.
cool books.
That is
I like
cool.
those
You,
books.
you can't go wrong with those plued covers, man. Those
No, like
Just jump
they're
at
they just pop, right? Like,
yeah.
That's really nice.
So they don't do panel covers like that much anymore.
no, they don't. And
Mhm.
because the panel, like I love them. It's a cool book. And so that was my pickups for the past few days.
Okay. And now
Yesterday.
it's back to the handsome guy.
It is back to the host with the most.
Yeah, I didn't show. I showed these in the beginning, but so Dave, is it true you're going to take these books? Then I'll send them to you, and you'll keep whatever you want and give the rest to Doug. Right? Is
That sounds
what it is?
great. That sounds great.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah,
You
so
could send them to me, and I will vet which one goes to which brother, Joe.
I see we have the
Justice League
Ticketmaster theory
122.
here going.
Postage to Canada. Whew.
Justice League 124 with the
Nice.
Justice Society of America.
Oh, that's awesome.
Justice League 154 with the Justice League being burned or whatever by somebody.
Great Dr. Destiny cover.
And Justice League 223, which is called Endgame, Marvel guys, Endgame.
Yeah.
You always have to copy everything from DC. I don't know.
Yeah, Mark.
And this one, Justice League of America, number 225. He's coming to feed. All right.
Cool. Those
So-
are great books, Joe.
My
Very
last
cool.
2 books. I have mentioned Howdy Doody in the past. I showed the Peanut Gallery, and I happened to come across this one. I was looking for a birthday book, my January 1951 books, but I don't think Howdy Doody came out in January 1951. This is the November-December 1950 book. It's Howdy Doody number 5.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
That's in nice shape, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
enough. Well,
It
that's only
looks
because you're
nice.
looking at it through a camera. I mean,
Yeah.
it looks good.
It looks good.
It looks good.
Presents well.
It presents well. You can have a little bit of cleaning there. It's a little bit of a roll to it, but it's not really bad. But Howdy Doody was like one of my childhood. I used to watch it every night. So when I saw this, I forget how much I paid for this. It wasn't a lot of money, but it was good. And my last book, I had mentioned, I think it was just my last upload where I talked about going to the antique stores. And I had picked up some books from antique stores, including one by Quality Comics Publications. And I had mentioned that DC eventually had bought them in 1956, but it did not buy Black Hawk. They leased Black Hawk, and Black Hawk was one of the 4 comic books that they took from Quality Comics and published right after they bought them. They published a few other ones later on. Those are the ones they eventually did buy Black Hawk, but this is a birthday book. This is from Quality Comics, a Quality Comic publication from January 1951. It's Black Hawk number 36.
Nice.
Oh,
Black
wow.
Hawk number 36 from Quality Comics. So it's a birthday book. It joins that Captain Marvel family, I think it was, that I showed in my last upload. So
Cool.
this is
That's really
my
cool,
latest
Joe.
birthday book. I
Nice.
gotta put them all together now and see them. I must have about like good 15 or so of them.
Wow.
So
Cool.
the last big one I got was a Wonder Woman from January 1951. It was graded, but had a purple label. But that's the way I could really afford it without my wife getting annoyed with me. So that's what I got there. So that's the end of my books there.
We
All right.
laughed at
Anybody
that.
else got? Yes. Thank you, Tina. Yeah. Oh,
I do want to. I do
it's
want
not
to.
my birthday. My birthday is January 5th, 1951. So come January 5th. Last year, a bunch of people, even Dave, and I think people joined me for my birthday party at the middle of January, and we gave away books. This year, if you want to send me one, January 5th. Okay, remember that.
There you go.
I do want it noted that I did show a DC title, and
You did?
my esteemed colleague above me, stuck with DC. Just saying, I expanded. Well,
Only
that
DC,
really
eh?
doesn't.
Only
it doesn't,
DC, huh?
It doesn't really count.
Yeah.
That's Marvel right there. And
He's trying to round up is what he's doing. So
I have a Spider-Man trade that's arriving tomorrow. And I'm like, I hope it gets here Wednesday so we can shove it in Mark's face. It's coming tomorrow. So I'm out of it.
Well,
I'll shove this in your face instead.
Oh, sure. Well,
Mark and Dave, if you
got
gonna,
more of these, I just didn't want to hog the whole thing. Look at that one.
what's this is now? Just show whatever you got.
And we could be offended that
round,
nobody
lightning
mentioned
round.
Carlton's. So I mean, really, if you really want to go obscure.
Dell?
See, yeah, exactly.
Ooh, Phantom.
That's
I have all
right.
the Don Newton Phantoms, Chuck.
No, these are earlier than the Don Newtons.
No,
so
I get that.
Yeah.
Those are the issues I have because I'm a huge Don Newton fan.
they are awesome. So
Yeah.
Whitman.
Oh, Flash.
there we go.
All right. Well, then I'm going to show this one here.
Well, see,
Oh,
that's a classic.
Joe,
That's nice.
you show off. That's gorgeous.
That's nice.
That's beautiful. I love it.
We can see nerds battling here by showing off their items.
Just a minute.
Give me
Neil,
five.
Neil Adams wins. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah,
sorry.
he does.
Can't beat Neil
Yeah.
Adams.
Neil Adams.
Not Neil Adams, Batman. You can't.
That's
Good night, Trev.
one of the quintessential ones.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, so-
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Iconic.
All right, guys. So we're coming up to the hour. I think it was a good espresso mail call, except that I got it right to StreamYard and say your selection tool was not working for me. So thank God we didn't have like 30, 40, 50, or 60 people watching.
Well, on
thank God we
replay.
only had a few.
Joe, you,
Yes.
Chuck, and I did a great job tonight. I just want to say that.
Oh, and incidentally, I mentioned Savage Saturday comic review number 112 and my secret history of the Merry Marvel March Society. The links are in the description below. I suggest you take a look at them, because I mean the Earl Norm covers and artwork is really fantastic.
They are.
And
It's gorgeous.
I showed you my name. Thank you, Mark Andrews, again for sending me that Rawhide Kid there, or Two Gun Kid rather. That was
My
fantastic.
pleasure, Joe.
You're my friend forever. So with my name in it. So that was terrific as well. So we
Mark.
saw some really good comic books here. And I think we'll probably do this again sometime, and then maybe in another month or so. So
That was fun.
yeah, it's kind of
Thank
fun
you,
to
Bree.
see what people get, and
Thank you,
some
Joe,
of the
for
old
the
ones are
invite.
really good as well.
Yeah, Mark,
So
you
I
were
think
great
that-
too.
I think it's
Oh,
really
gee.
cool.
Thanks, Dave. I was starting to feel a little bad about myself.
There you go. All right. Rub
All
your
right.
head.
So I just want to show
Oh,
this from
thank you.
Turbo Man Chuck. Great show. Thank you. Thank you.
This was great, Joe. Thank you.
Yeah, it's really good. Let's see. What? Oh, wait. He's got Mad number
Yeah.
7 coming tomorrow.
That's what's
Ooh.
great. Look
Ooh.
at that.
And he says my MMS was a great video. I know. But all my videos are great, aren't they? Come on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they are.
Especially your DC Watch stuff, Joe.
Will we ever get another one out?
I hope so. We're behind.
We are working on one.
Yeah.
Um,
We're working on for Mark.
A preliminary to the Flash movie. It's not about the Flash movie. We'll probably go on afterwards to talk about the Flash movie. But we're working on one that hopefully will come out in the next few weeks. So definitely before the Flash movie. I've also got a
3 weeks away.
comics my mom let me keep coming up next week. I'm getting into the Avengers. I have a few more of those Avengers that I bought for 2 cents each.
Nice.
You may want to take a look at that as well. And I'm working on something special, which I mentioned to Chuck, but Chuck has sworn to secrecy, about a famous artist from the 1960s and 70s.
Chuck,
we'll see how that works out.
You can tell me no one's listening. What is it?
It begins with
Yeah, that's why they call me Humble Joe. I know. Yeah. Gary, you know me well.
New York lawyers are known for their humility.
I know. Well, one time this guy tells me he sees me argue a case. Meanwhile, he's a friend of mine, works with me, and I talk to him all the time. We have lunch. I got to argue a case, right? So I'm there arguing the case at the end of it because he says he wanted to see me argue a case. I said, okay, I'm arguing this case downtown. Come and see me. So I go there, argue the case. I said, you want to have lunch? He says to me like this, I never saw you like that before. I said, I was working.
You were a stone cold killer, Joe.
No, I feel bad. You were like knocking that person down.
That was your job.
The way you
That's what they pay me
cross-examined
for.
that old lady, incredible.
She wasn't
Made
that
her
old. She was
cry?
maybe about 70, 75.
She will never
Falling
cross
in.
that. She will never jaywalk again.
She'll never sue us again. That's the end of her. All right, guys. I think we've kind of done it all here.
Yeah.
So
digress.
thanks a lot to everybody in the chat that showed up. I really appreciate it. Thanks to my guests, Dave Bratton,
Okay.
Chuck Henze, Mark Andrews. You guys are terrific as usual. And with that, we're going to say bye-bye, everybody. Take care.